Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. If you want to join me on my live stream every day except for Sunday. The link is in the description. I also have another channel called Crypto Daily Updates. That's one great crypto video for all your cryptocurrency updates for the day. That's also in the description. So we're going to talk about, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Cardano. Which one of these can be the world currency? But we're going to have to talk about one specific issue here, and that's the distribution of coins. Which one is the most decentralized and which one is the most centralized? Now, to be a world currency, it has to be somewhat distributed, at least quite distributed. You can't have 2 or 3 people holding the entire supply. So we're going to look at which one of the top coins is the most distributed, and we're going to have like statistics, like raw statistics, where it's very accurate for a couple of the coins, and for a couple of the other coins I had to research and basically take some older estimates, and they'll be kind of like rounding errors and a little bit of guesstimates for some of them, but the top 6 are exact, and then like the others are a little bit rounded or guesstimates, or like they're from older sources, which may be a little off. So the more distributed and the more decentralized the supply is, the better it is for a world currency, because you don't want like 2 or 3 people holding the entire supply. For comparison, the top 400 richest people in the world hold about $2.93 trillion, which is, if you take the world's entire net worth of about $273 trillion, the top 400 people own a little bit more than 1%. So that's kind of like how wealth is distributed around the world right now. Now, a lot of people are actually in debt, so they actually have negative net worth. So when you hear like, the top 1,000 people have as much as the bottom 50% of people combined, that's true, but that's because like half those people are either in debt or they don't have anything. In terms of cryptocurrencies, we want to look at what percentage of the world's wealth the top 100 addresses of each coin actually has. So let's actually go dig into the numbers. Of the coins that I analyzed, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BCH, BSV, LTC, EOS, BNB, and ADA, the top 6, which is BTC, Ethereum, XRP, BCH, BSV, and LTC, had exact numbers. ADA also has an exact number, but I didn't really go through all the calculations. But I know like pretty exact. It's around 40% for the top 100 addresses. EOS and BNB, I couldn't find them on their block explorers, so I kind of had to estimate, or I had to rely on older sources. And EOS and BNB are both extremely centralized, so they wouldn't make a good choice. But here we go. Of the 9 I analyzed, Bitcoin, the top 100 Bitcoin addresses actually have 2.72 million Bitcoin, which roughly equates to 14.82 of the circulating supply. The top 100 Ethereum addresses have roughly 5.292 million Ethereum, which roughly comprises of 4.77% of the circulating Ethereum supply. And XRP, we're not actually counting the escrow. The top 100 XRP addresses have 35.6 billion XRP, which counts for 70.49 of the circulating XRP supply. Remember, the concentration would be higher if we were counting the escrow wallet. We are not counting the main escrow wallet, which holds almost half of all XRP. So outside of that wallet, the top 100 BCH wallets have 5.253 million BCH, counting for 28.55% of the total supply. The top 100 BSV wallets hold 4.787 of the entire BSV supply, or 26.02% of the entire BSV supply. The top LTC wallets comprise of 27.48 million of the LTC supply, or 42.5% of the entire LTC supply. EOS, from what I can find, like the information I have was from Etherscan from like 2 years ago. And the top EOS wallets essentially have about 75% of the supply. And the top BNB wallets from Etherscan 2 years ago, because I couldn't find it on BNB Explorer, have about 96% of the BNB supply. Now, the BNB thing is not all that surprising, because I'm guessing Binance holds almost all the BNB. In terms of the ADA addresses, the top 100 ADA addresses hold around 40% of the ADA supply. Now, I do realize that a person can have multiple addresses, but that applies for all the coins. So I think it's a fair estimate for all the coins. XRP might have fewer people that have multiple addresses because of the 20 XRP reserve, but My guess is that affects like smaller wallets much bigger than larger wallets, because if you have millions of XRP, you probably don't really care about the 20 XRP reserve, and that's not really holding you back from creating more XRP ledger addresses. So there you have it. The most, the three coins that are actually the most centralized are EOS, BNB, and XRP, while the least centralized by far is Ethereum. Now, which would actually make the best world currency? Based on distribution, it would be Ethereum. And I think like Ethereum would actually be the best once it goes proof of stake in 2 or 3 years, if we ever get to that point where we want a crypto to be the world currency. Because once it actually gets proof of stake, it can scale, and it's by far the most distributed out. Now, 4.77 for the top 100 addresses is still a lot. It's still several times more than like the fiat distribution, so it's still more concentrated at the top. So if you're one of those people that worries about income inequality, using any of these cryptos as the world currency will actually greatly increase world equality, because most people won't have any, first of all, and the people at the top will actually have more. Like no one is as rich in fiat cash, not even Jeff Bezos, as the top Bitcoin or Ethereum holder, worth respective to their coins. But I wanted to mention this because distribution is one thing that's actually quite hard to change. Like your protocol upgrade, you can just always upgrade within a year or two. Getting the distribution to change actually means getting some of those whales to give up some of their Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP, and that can be quite difficult. I know Ripple is doing it with their escrow release, but they're at 70.49% even without the escrow. So they've got a long, long way to go to get any kind of decentralized distribution. So I think like based on distribution, Ethereum is the best one. And the thing is, Ethereum, if they actually go like sharding with proof of stake, and they can do thousands of transactions per minute, plus their layer 2 scaling, would probably be the best in terms of distribution for a world currency. Now, I don't know if that'll happen. I think we're probably going to stick with CBDCs for a long time, but that's just the analysis. I'll post this as the first pinned comment in the comments, because I think this is kind of interesting, the percentages that the top 100 hold of each coin. And I think that does go a long way into like which of these can actually be a world currency if we actually come to that point. Now, like I said, I think CBDCs will be like a world currency. And if we do have a one world currency, it'll probably be something the IMF actually makes itself. But in terms of the current existing cryptos, I think Ethereum is actually the best candidate once it actually can scale, because the others are way too concentrated. From the top to the bottom, Ethereum is 4.77%. The next one would be Bitcoin at 14.82%, and then BSV at 26.02%, BCH at 28.55%, LTC at 42.5%, ADA at around 40 to 45%, XRP at 70.49%, and then EOS at 75%, and BNB at 96%. I also checked Tezos. And the thing about Tezos or Tezos or however the hell you want to pronounce it, it's near at 100%. At least it was on Etherscan. I'm not really sure what the supply looks like now, but I wouldn't be surprised for that at Tezos either. So I doubt it's more distributed than either Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's the review for today. Those are the statistics. Thank you and have a nice day.